back to the Lather Rinse Repeat podcast, brought to you by just me today. I'm the present, so I got this sweater on because I don't have a guest. But that's okay. I was supposed to record with my friends over at Ethical Bean Coffee, but with the end of the season craziness, they just couldn't fit the recording in. They did say they would send me a coupon code, which I'll link in the description there. Let's hope that they do that before I have to publish this episode. Fingers crossed. But happy Friday. It is a bit of a gray day here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. We're expecting a bit of a snowstorm tonight, but I still love doing these recordings in the daytime because I get to sit in front of the window and have a little bit of natural light rather than the yellow lamp sort of glaring in my face. I should invest in one of those ring lights, I suppose, so I'm going to keep doing that. But anyway, you didn't come here to hear me talk about my day. You came here to hear me talk about gift-giving ideas for coffee lovers. And I've got 12 for you. That's a lot of gift-giving ideas. And everybody loves coffee or they're crazy. So before we get started, I'm going roughly through them in price point order. So least expensive to the most expensive. To get started, I'll just mention a couple stocking stuffers that I would be super happy to receive in my stocking on Christmas morning. One is some chocolate-covered coffee beans. These guys are freaking delicious. I don't know if you've ever had them. They seem like they would be an odd thing to want to eat because coffee beans are pretty hard. So they've obviously got to do something to them to make them a little less break your teeth. And then they cover them in chocolate, and they're addictive as heck. So I would definitely recommend getting somebody who loves to drink coffee, something like that to snack on. Second, I don't know if you've heard of this brand, but it's called Frank Body, and they make these nice body scrubs of basically coffee grounds that kind of seems like, I'm sure it's maybe not actually coffee grounds. I've never had one. I get a Boxy subscription every month, and they were in those, but they didn't come in my box, so I didn't get to try them. And I've seen a couple influencers doing ads for them, and they look really nice. So Frank Body's a nice brand. I would really love to try the coffee body scrub. So if you've got somebody who loves coffee on your list, sneak that right into that stocking. Next, and this would be for somebody who already has a Keurig coffee machine, but those little K-Cups, they're pretty expensive. Like a box of 12 is like $15, $16. So it's more than $1 for a cup of coffee, which if you're making it at home, it's kind of a lot. So you can actually buy the little reusable K-Cups and put like a tablespoon or two of your own coffee in them, and then it lowers your price point per cup, which I'm always looking for ways to save money. I don't like spending money on stuff that like is just everyday stuff. So that would be a great gift. I don't have a Keurig, but my boyfriend and I are moving in together soon, and we're planning to get one. So yeah, I think that we'll probably get that along with the machine. But if you're going to have the reusable K-Cup, or if you're just going to brew your own coffee at home, you need to have some coffee. So I am actually up a prop for this one. This is my favorite brand of coffee. I'm getting a bit of glare there. It is called Ethical Bean, and they are based in Vancouver. So it's a Canadian company, and they have, my two favorites are this classic one, which is a medium roast, or they also have a bright purple package, and it's called Lush, and it's a medium dark roast. They have a few others too, but those are the two that I buy. Basically, I picked up this brand. I was in the coffee aisle. The bright colors caught my eye, and I said, I'll try it. I wasn't loyal to any one brand. I would normally pick up like a sustainably sourced style one that was on sale that week. And ever since I've tried this, I love it. They do come in K-Cups as well. I've seen those. I've never tried them. I just told you I don't have a Keurig. But this is my favorite kind of coffee. This is who was supposed to be recording with me today, so very sad that we couldn't get them to line up their schedule with mine. Of course, as I just mentioned, they're in Vancouver, so that 4-hour time difference definitely had a factor in that too. But still love them, still gonna keep supporting them and buying this coffee, and I think that you should too. Next is another item that I have a prop for, which I'm excited about. You may have seen these on my Instagram page before. Ta-da! These are my Lather Rinse Repeat mugs, guys, with my face and my lipstick. Sorry, gotta look good for these videos, right? So I sell these. I have about 15 of them available for sale. They're just hanging out in a box at the office. I think I have one or two at home just in case somebody wanted one and they were over at my house. I could just give it to them. I sell them for $20. That basically just covers my cost of goods. I think that these mugs are about 16, 17 bucks each when I bought them in the 20 volume. I think about 20 of them. Anyway, they weren't cheap, and I learned something about making mugs, and I'm going to give that wisdom to you. So when you get to design your own mug, it's a long flat rectangle. So when I had placed this logo, I placed it equidistant from this photo to the end of the mug. So it's a little off, but it's still cute, and it's still got my cute face on it over here for this is our cover art for the podcast. I'm in very contemplation about the thoughts of Lather Rinse Repeat, as you all should be every moment of every day. Okay, so next on my list, I'm going to keep with the coffee mug theme for just another 2 suggestions. That ethical bean coffee is delish. Okay, so I've seen these in like funny office commercials. I thought that they were just sort of like a fake product, but they're real. So you can get like a coaster that has a warming device in it, and it keeps your coffee warm. That's pretty cool. I think that you see them in those commercials where it's like fooling the boss that you're actually still around doing work because you got hot coffee on your desk. Smart. But yeah, that would be a great gift. They're at about the $15 price point, so they're not crazy expensive, so it would be a great stocking stuffer. Next, if you wanted to level up that gift idea for about $180, you can buy a temperature-controlled mug. So this seems freaking cool. I would love to have this. I don't know if I would pay $180 for it for myself, which is what makes it a great gift idea. But I think that no matter how long your coffee's in this little mug, it just has like a heating element and it keeps it warm. I swear to you, the only reason I own a microwave is to heat up my coffee. And I must heat up each cup at least 3 times a day because it takes me about an hour and a half to drink a cup of coffee. First world problems, hey? Anyway, next on my list, this would also be a cool gadget that I probably wouldn't get for myself, but I would use if I had, and that is a milk frother. So you can, at home, you can make like nice frothy lattes, you can skip Starbucks and their $6 ones, and make a latte at home. It probably works for both real milk and plant-based milk. I didn't read enough about it to say that for sure, but I can't see the difference. And it gives you that nice frothy warmness to your coffee or latte, or you could make cappuccinos. It has a lot of possibilities. The possibilities are endless on this one. They're probably not endless. There's probably like 5 or 6. But okay, next, kind of going with that make great coffee at home with a lot of work, the way that they seem to at coffee shops, is a hand grinder. So they say if you hand grind your beans, opposed to putting them in an electric grinder, it's supposed to taste better. They're supposed to be a more uniform consistency to the grinds when they come out instead of getting a lot of that dust that sort of seems to settle in the bottom of your cup of coffee. The hand grinder solves those problems. It's supposed to make a more robust tasting cup of coffee. I don't know. I made that one up, but I'm sure it's true. Next is sort of, so if you are following the podcast on Instagram, you'll know that last week I broke my French press. I'm really sad about it, but there's nothing I can really do about it. It's gone now. I could get a new one. I paid $8.99 for it at Superstore. But in my search for this, I found something that I thought was maybe even cooler than a French press, and that is a pour-over coffee pot. It looks like it came out of your high school chemistry lab. So you set up like a little decanter, I guess, I know that that's a wine word, but we'll use it for now. And then like a funnel thing. And then you put the coffee in and it like uses gravity to come down and filter through the coffee, makes your coffee in the bottom thing. So instead of just having the grinds sit in the French press, and especially if you have like a more than 1 cup French press, you're probably altering the taste of your coffee. This gives one pass the way that a traditional percolator would through the grinds, giving you your coffee. That's probably a terrible description. Here's a picture. It looks pretty cool, right? I want one. I didn't write the price down. I can't say it being over $50, or I don't think anyone would buy it. Okay, I've got 2 more. We're really cruising through them. So these ones are at a bit of a higher price point. So you know cold brew coffee. It's all over the world. It's all over the web. All the influencers are obsessed with cold brew coffee. I don't know that I've ever, like, I'm not an iced coffee person. I will drink a hot coffee sitting on the beach. I have and I will, and I will continue to. I like a cold coffee every now and again. But if you have a cold brew lover, you can get a cold brew coffee maker. Again, I didn't really get super into how exactly that works, but this is what it looks like. And it's only $50. So if you have somebody that's, is like a diehard coffee lover, somebody that you work with that's always coming in 5 minutes late with their iced coffee in their hand, this might be a great gift for them. Tell them to get their shit together and get to work on time, make their coffee at home, And last but not least, the dream product for every coffee lover in this world, which is a home espresso machine. These have very, very varying price points from about $200 to about $1,000. So if you have a lot of money, I guess you could go get $1,000 one. But I think that the money spot would maybe be around $400. When I worked at a restaurant that used to serve lattes, they had a cheaper one and it had a lot of issues. One thing that bothered me about this machine was you could not steam the milk and brew espresso at the same time. So make sure that you get yourself one that you can do both simultaneously, because that will not only save you a lot of time, but it's less of a headache, because either your espresso's sitting there getting cold while you're frothing your milk, or your milk's sitting there getting cold while you're waiting for the espresso to brew. So make sure you look at those features and see if they have the dual capabilities. I don't know if any of them do, to be honest. That's just what that was a pain point for me when I used to have to make them for guests at the restaurant. And that would be the one thing that if I could have changed about it, I would have. But these are great, guys. Who does not love to have a nice, lovely, hot drink that tastes like it came from a barista at home? I know that I would really love that. It's definitely not something that I'm going to get anytime soon because, like I said, the price point on them is pretty high if you want one that's of good quality. But a girl can dream. All right, that is my solo episode of gift giving ideas for the coffee lover in your life. I hope that me not having a guest when just rattling on by myself was still enjoyable for you to listen to or to watch here on YouTube. I will speak a few things about just the podcast in general and plans for the podcast and et cetera, while I have your attention. So me doing this week of gift giving ideas was really fun for me. It was sort of a last minute idea in the sense that I didn't plan this 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I was filming and editing an episode every single day. Luckily, I am not working very much at the moment. I work at a restaurant that's shut down for takeout only, and we are each getting 1 or 2 shifts a week that are 3 or 4 hours long. So I think we've said it enough times in these gift giving guides. The restaurant industry is certainly a hard hit one with this pandemic. So supporting local and even just buying gift certificates so they have cash flow now and can sort of honor that in the new year when hopefully restrictions are back to normal as people begin getting vaccinated. And especially here in the Atlantic provinces where we have done a really great job of flattening the curve. Anyway, we did a great job. We were super fortunate here in the province to have somewhat of a summer still. Yes, we couldn't travel. Yes, we all had to cancel our vacations that were outside of the Atlantic bubble, but I think that we certainly did a lot better here than a lot of other places, even just in Canada. I have friends in Ontario and they have small children, and you just couldn't go out and do the same sort of things that we were able to do here. We didn't miss our patio season. So we were very fortunate here, and the podcast has sort of suffered this year as well when I shut it down in the summer because it was just proving to be really difficult to source guests and come up with interesting content. And of course, then I got in a relationship, which made me want to shift my focus away from crappy dating stories in my life to things that just interest me on a whole nother level. Producer Mark wasn't super interested in me taking this from a dating podcast that was supposed to be sort of like a woe is me funny to more of a lifestyle podcast. But, you know, we've talked about it. We played around with some ideas. I decided to inject some life into the podcast by doing these Christmas episodes because I am playing around with the idea of replacing myself as a host with somebody who is still dating and has that fun, funny perspective on what it's like out there in the world of man hunting. Or, you know, women hunting. New host could be a man and new host might be LGBTQ. Who freaking knows? I have a couple of people who have mentioned some interest, but if hosting this podcast is something that would interest you, certainly send me a DM. We don't have the details figured out yet. We have no idea. I've had a lot of fun doing this week. It kind of renewed my interest in podcasting, but then of course, here I am again doing a solo episode. So it also reminded me why sometimes this podcasting thing can be draining, because this happens a lot. Like when you're a guest on a podcast, you don't get anything out of it. You're volunteering your time to hope that this show can grow. Maybe the show, if you're on it, will pick up some followers for you if you're an influencer or something, but it's really volunteer work. That's at the end of the day, I'm not giving the people who are coming on my podcast anything but an hour of my time and some Instagram posts. So you have to be in that world to even want that. And I don't know. I love the podcast. Obviously, I started it because I love it. But I don't know if I have the gusto for it, especially with my career side of my life being in shambles, and I have no idea what I'm doing with that. And I'm not dating, so I'm not getting fun, fresh perspective content anymore on that particular topic. So yeah, that is really just kind of the Coles Notes version of what's going on with Lather Rinse Repeat. And if I do pass off the podcast, I didn't want to pass off a dead podcast that was getting 5 listeners an episode and was losing followers on Instagram every single day. So I decided to up my game while I had the time, and that is why you're getting these lovely Christmas episodes. So I hope you've enjoyed them. I hope that if you're listening just the audio version, you'll hop over to YouTube and check out my beautiful face. It's like morning and I have a full face of makeup on, so like don't say I didn't try. And there will be one more episode about Christmas content coming out on Monday. Mark and I are going to sit down and talk about some last minute gift ideas. So I hope you like that idea as well. You tune in then, and then I guess we will be back to regular content on Thursday, which maybe, because I don't have anything recorded. I don't have anything planned. The work, it never ends, guys. It never ends. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy all these Christmas episodes, I would really love it if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel, if you could share anything on your stories that I've been posting, to just sort of get a little bit more exposure for the podcast. That's the only thing that really helps a show like this grow, is you saying, I like this and you might too. So if you all want to give me a Christmas gift, just share the heck out of everything that I've been doing. I know that sometimes when you're not somebody who shares a lot of stuff, sharing a small show, people are like, oh, why does she think I'm going to care about that? But people actually don't think that much about it. So if you can get the words Lather, Rinse, Repeat into their mind, then maybe the next time they see it, they'll be like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that on so-and-so's, and they might actually listen. That's how growth works. That's why companies pay influencers to talk about their products, so that when they're in the store and they say, oh yeah, I've heard of that, they're more likely to buy it. So please share, subscribe, follow, rate, review. Oh my God, I would love it if you went on Apple iTunes and wrote a little review about this podcast. It's not that hard. It only takes 5 minutes. 5 minutes of your time. And I've just spent hours of my time this week providing you with this great content. So I'd really, really love you. All right, guys, have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday with one last Christmas bonus. And if you don't happen to listen to that one, and this is the last one you tune into, have a great holiday, regardless of whatever you celebrate, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, I don't know, but have a great one. And if you're not really a holiday person, I'm sorry to have given you 5 episodes of gift-giving content, but enjoy your winter. Hit the slopes, go sledding, skate on the oval. I'm sure that you'll be able to find something that you enjoy. Bye, guys.